Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nur Alia Binti Jayari and my metric number is L204A0562. And today I will be presenting my research proposal entitled The Effects of Workplace Communication on Decision Making and Productivity Among Fresh Graduates in Organizations. This study focuses on how communication in the workplace influences the ability of fresh graduates to make decisions and perform their work productively. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss the background of the study, the problem statement, literature review, research gap, conceptual framework, research objective and questions, methodology, expected findings, and the significance of the study. Firstly, let us look at the background of the study. Workplace communication is one of the most important elements in any organization. It allows employees to exchange information, collaborate effectively, and understand their responsibilities. When communication is effective, employees receive clear instructions, misunderstandings can be reduced, and teamwork becomes more efficient. As a result, organizational performance and productivity can be improved. However, fresh graduates often face different challenges compared to experienced employees. Since they are new to the professional environment, they may have limited experience with workplace communication practices, organizational expectations, and formal communication channels. Many fresh graduates struggle to communicate effectively with supervisors and colleagues, which can affect their confidence, decision-making abilities, and their overall performance. Therefore, understanding the role of workplace communication among fresh graduates is important because it can influence how successfully they adapt to the workplace. Next is the problem statement. This study uses the ideal versus reality approach. Ideally, organizations should provide clear instructions and maintain effective communication systems. Employees should be able to understand information easily, make quick decisions, and perform their tasks efficiently. However, in reality, many fresh graduates experience unclear instructions, communication barriers, and difficulty understanding workplace expectations. These challenges can lead to delayed decision-making, confusion, lower productivity, and workplace inefficiencies. This creates a gap between what organizations expect and what fresh graduates actually experience. The significance of this issue is that poor communication may negatively affect organizational performance and the successful adjustment of fresh graduates into the workforce. Therefore, it is important to examine how workplace communication influences decision-making and productivity among fresh graduates. Moving on to the literature review. Previous studies consistently show that workplace communication has a positive impact on employee performance. For example, Suber 2023 found that effective communication improves employee productivity by reducing misunderstandings and supporting collaboration. Santos and colleagues 2024 reported that communication increases employee motivation and job satisfaction. Similarly, Mbele and De Beer 2022 found that effective communication improved employee engagement and commitment to organizational goals. Furthermore, Ahmad Tajuddin and colleagues 2022 highlighted that communication skills are among the most important employability skills required by employers. Overall, this study suggests that workplace communication contributes significantly to employee performance, motivation, engagement, and productivity. The common theme across the literature is that effective communication positively influences employee outcomes and organizational success. Although many studies have examined workplace communication, there is still a research gap. Most existing studies focus on general employees, managers, and organizational leaders. However, limited research specifically examines fresh graduates as a separate group. Fresh graduates face unique challenges because they are transitioning from academic environments to professional workplaces. In addition, every few studies investigate the relationship between workplace communication, decision-making, and productivity together among fresh graduates. Therefore, this study aims to fill that gap by focusing specifically on fresh graduates and examining how workplace communication affects both their decision-making and productivity. This makes the study relevant and contributes new knowledge to existing research. This slide presents the conceptual framework of the study. The independent variable is workplace communication. The dependent variables are decision-making and productivity. The framework proposes that workplace communication directly influences both decision-making and productivity among fresh graduates. The assumption is that when communication is clear and effective, fresh graduates can understand information better, make more confident decisions, and complete their tasks more efficiently. Therefore, workplace communication is expected to have a positive relationship with both dependent variables. This study has 3 research objectives. The first objective is to examine the level of workplace communication experience by fresh graduates in organizations. The second objective is to analyze the relationship between workplace communication and decision making among fresh graduates. The third objective is to analyze the relationship between workplace communication and productivity among fresh graduates. To achieve these objectives, 3 research questions have been developed. The first question asks about the level of workplace communication experience by fresh graduates. The second question examines the relationship between workplace communication and decision making. The third question investigates the relationship between workplace communication and productivity. These research questions are directly aligned with the objectives and the conceptual framework of the study. Next is the methodology. This study adopts a quantitative research design using a survey method. A quantitative approach is chosen because it allows data to be collected from a large number of respondents and analyzed statistically. The target respondents are fresh graduates who have less than 2 years of working experience. They are selected because they are still adapting to workplace communication practices and organizational expectations. The study aims to collect responses from approximately 100 to 150 participants. The sampling technique used is convenient sampling, which allows respondents who are easily accessible and willing to participate to be selected. This approach is suitable due to the time limitations and accessibility constraints. For data collection, an online questionnaire will be distributed using Google Forms. The questionnaire will use a 5-point Likert scale ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. This scale is appropriate because it allows respondents to express their level of agreement regarding workplace communication, decision-making, and productivity. For data analysis, the collected responses will be analyzed using SPSS. Descriptive statistics such as frequency, percentage, and mean will be used to summarize the data and determine the level of workplace communication experienced by respondents. In addition, Pearson correlation analysis will be conducted to examine the relationship between workplace communication and the 2 dependent variables, namely decision-making and productivity. This analysis will help determine whether stronger workplace communication is associated with better decision-making and higher productivity. This slide presents the expected findings and contributions. It is expected that effective workplace communication will positively influence both decision-making and productivity among fresh graduates. Fresh graduates who receive clear instructions and communicate effectively with the colleagues and supervisors are expected to make better decisions and perform their tasks more efficiently. The findings may contribute in several ways. Firstly, organizations can use the findings to improve onboarding programs for new employees. Secondly, organizations may develop better communication strategies and training programs. Finally, the study may support fresh graduates in adapting more successfully to workplace environments and expectations. In conclusion, workplace communication is an essential factor for organizational success. Fresh graduates face unique communication challenges because they are still adapting to professional environments. This study aims to investigate how workplace communication influences decision-making and productivity among fresh graduates. By addressing the identified research gap, the findings may provide valuable insights for organizations, human resource departments, and fresh graduates themselves. Ultimately, improving workplace communications can contribute to a more supportive work environment, better decision-making, and higher productivity. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.